So every time I get into the debate of student loan, debt forgiveness, or anything of the sort, I usually get the same kind of response from at least one jackass. But it happens. It's annoying. What you gonna do? There's people that are stupid. Anyway, so the debate pretty much goes that the Democrats want to enable and forgive student debt. And the Republicans are like, hell no. Have some personal accountability and responsibility. It used to be that the Democrats were about accountability and responsibility. I don't know where the hell that went, but it's clearly not here anymore. But what it is now is we want to have the youth vote, so therefore all your student loans are thus forgiven. If you don't remember, Warren was even confronted with a guy who saved up his money and paid for his daughter's college, and said, "Well, if you're going to enable this, and I put all this money forward in paying my daughter's college and did it the right way, are you going to forgive my debt and give me a check for the money I spent on college, since you're making it free?" And she goes, "Of course not." Yes, because what they're doing is pandering to the poor, or perceived poor, I should say. And this is the reality of it. If you go out and get a degree, and it's a degree that you don't actually need, let's see, Tim Pool puts it very well over and over again. You don't really need a freaking degree for journalism. You just go out and start recording and do your own and build your network and make footage, put it up on YouTube, do your own thing, make it viral, go on tweets, say you did this, that, and the other. Expose yourself, apply for jobs. Maybe you've done street journalism, been out in the field, and you can prove it. And so you've built up a portfolio, and then you go apply for a job at ABC, NBC, whatever, and you're either the cameraman or you're the person behind in front of the camera, right? There are certain jobs you might need some education on, technical jobs, but you're not going to need more than associates, maybe. And those are for like soundboard operator and that things like that, because those are devices that you need to learn how to use before you get the job. Suffice to say, there are certain fields that you do need a degree for. Computer science being one of them. Anything that's doesn't require it requires a what was the term that's usually used? A more cognitive approach. So it's not manual labor per se. It's not doing something. It's more thought, design. Programming is a good example. You need years, a couple of years to learn. Well, you can learn how to code without the degree, to be honest. You just need to sit down and try to figure it out. Follow a book. Make your own stuff. Maybe not follow the book. Maybe read the example in the book and then try to do something else that's just like it and apply the same techniques in a different way so that you learn it in your own fashion. I found that's kind of more helpful. That's how I've gotten a little better at Java. I still suck at it. But you still need to learn the concepts and whatnot. And you can get those stuff on the internet. And even get certificates and certifications, things like that, that might help you get through the door. But what's a good example of, well, medical doctor. You don't want somebody that doesn't have a PhD cutting your chest open to do open heart surgery, right? You want them to know anatomy inside and out and spent years studying just that subject, right? You may or may not want a new doctor doing the same thing. They may go through medical training through the military, like Tulsi Gabbard as an example. But all in all, there are certain fields that you may want a degree for. All that being said, what you decide to do with your life is your decision. You should have good counselors, good coaches, good teachers that should be telling you you may or may not need a degree for what you want to do in life. That is an important discussion you need to have. I've noticed this discussion actually go the wrong way with a lot of parents too. For example, my eldest son's girlfriend was coached by her father to go straight into computers, go to programming, learn IT because that's where the money's at. That is the wrong mentality to have. You don't go into a field because that's where the money's at. You go into a field because you're going to enjoy your job, feel fulfilled, and really feel like you have a purpose in doing said job, right? So if you're going to go into the field for design and you're already a good artist, build on that. Maybe you might need to go in and get some coaching or a degree on how to apply that field into, say, marketing or computer animation and design, because there are techniques and softwares and whatnot that you need to learn how to use. And it's easier if you have a coach to help you on some of that stuff, because what you apply in your brain needs to be translated into the computer. Give and take. It really depends on your situation. But in all honesty, what you want to do is, if you're going to college, you need to choose that path carefully and have people behind you that give you the right kind of support. Do you really need a degree to do this? Take Repsion, for example. He decided he wanted to be an arc welder, or a welder in general. Instead of going to college, he went to a trade school to learn how to weld. Well, that's the right way to go. And yeah, you're going to get some student debt, but you're not going to learn that technique, that style, the different ways things heat up, the different temperatures, the science behind welding. You're not going to learn any of that by doing necessarily. You may notice things as you get going, but it's much easier and safer, mind you, to learn this from somebody that can teach you, like an apprenticeship, which is which most trade and journeyman things do. They put you through school so they can align you with a mentor that will then give you an apprenticeship and you learn that kind of stuff. So give or take, you get the idea. The whole point behind it is what's being offered is they will just forgive all that debt that you've accrued, deciding and figuring out what you want to do with your life. This breeds irresponsibility. You now are no longer responsible for the debt that you've accrued, whether or not that choice was a good one. So if you got a gender studies degree and find that you don't have a job now because gender studies is useless as a degree, it's a research degree. What are you going to do? Work at a university, a think tank group, a feminist outlet? That's it. That's what your job's going to consist of. Most of those feminist outlets are bankrupt. There's one or two that I know of that eventually I'll do a video on that still exist. They aren't going to hire you. They're going to hire somebody with psychology and marketing. Gender studies isn't necessary because the philosophy behind that stuff is as easy as reading the Bible. It's pathetic and it's pervasive. At any rate, what usually happens in this conversation is I'll go through that and I'll say, you're responsible for your goddamn choices. Don't be forgiving student debt. I chose, and I usually put myself as the example, I chose to go and get myself a doctorate. I don't need your dumbass or anybody else's dumbass to pay for my decision. It was mine to make. It was mine alone. I don't need your help in paying my bills. It's a little bit of pride, right? A little bit of ego. One hell of an amount of accountability and responsibility. No one else accrued this debt for me. It was my decision to do. But inevitably, and I don't know what kind of point these stupid assholes are thinking they're making, they always bring up where I went to school. I went to University of Phoenix. Everybody fucking hates this school that went anywhere else. They went to UCLA. They went to freaking Green Bay. You name it. You go to any other school that is remotely, like, even a state school, U of H, U of U, University of Michigan, freaking Boston University, you name it, MIT, Harvard. I've met them all, and every single one of them, eventually, well, the assholes in the group anyways, usually say, oh, look at that, you went to U of H, what the fuck do you know? You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, dude, did you not hear you didn't address my argument. This is straight up an ad hominem attack. You went to University of Phoenix, ha ha ha. It's like, okay, and your point? I made that decision. I am telling you, I'd rather pay for my own bills, thank you. I know that place is expensive. It's a private college. They actually got sued for false advertising to certain people because they believe they get a new, different job by just getting a different degree. And their recruiters were a bit dishonest in doing so. I never had that experience, to be honest. And getting the doctorates itself was more for me than for anyone else because no one else in my family has ever done something like that. I wasn't about to go and spend 7 to 10 years at a university while the rest of my family starved just so that I could have what I wanted. It didn't make sense. I may, again, when I'm close to retirement, maybe even retired, go back and get a psych degree from an actual university. Um, that remains to be seen. I'd maybe do that in the future. I'd love to get paid to do that, to be honest. Anyways, that argument comes up every freaking time. And the only argument out of there is sophistry. So apparently these douchebags, whoever they are, they go to university, they get a bachelor's or master's. They usually have one of the two. And they're like, haha, you went to University of Phoenix. What the fuck do you know? Okay, I went to University of Phoenix and I'm telling you I don't want you to pay my debt. That's what I'm telling you. Do you want to pay the debt of University of Phoenix and students that were, some of them were scammed? Do you want to pay that debt? That's the question. You want to spit this stupid shit at me? Go ahead. Just say it. Oh, haha, you went to University of Phoenix. How dare you? You moron. You idiot. You useless trash. I can't believe you would waste your time and money there. Oh, yeah, well, maybe I am for student debt all of a sudden. I want you to pay for that debt, you stupid ass. You and your taxpayer money is now going to pay off my student loans. Enjoy. How does that feel? Now that you're laughing and thinking it's funny, I bet you've already paid off your student loans, didn't you? You did, didn't you? You probably had a scholarship. Maybe you had some mommy and daddy money. And you're thinking this pain and suffering, you need to have pity on the poor. Look, I have no pity for these people. They made this decision. The decision was made. They put forth years of effort into doing thing, right? They chose this thing and they went and did thing on purpose. That was their decision. It's like this person decided to step in the middle of traffic and bang his head on your windshield so that he can make an insurance claim and get free health care and maybe get some free money. But he made the decision to step in front of your car. You don't have a camera. Now you have to pay for it because the insurance agency is like, no, you just hit a pedestrian. It's kind of the same thing. You're getting scammed. You're having the people that think they're going to be pitiful toward those that make bad decisions, basically opening up the floodgates to all universities. And what they're not doing is regulating the expenses. College is very expensive. Some of these tenured professors are making 7 figures. That's ridiculous. That money should be taken from them. If you want to be the taxing the rich type of person, socialist Bernie Sanders and supporter that people love and enjoy, well, look at the top percentage of people in universities making bank off of giving people junk degrees, including maybe mine, to be honest. A doctorate of management and organizational psychology has its uses. I've been able to help and coach a few general managers and whatnot in Fortune 50 companies. I've had the fortunate experience to have that opportunity and express with them my knowledge and even put it into application, which is kind of nice. But so what? I've been cited. Yay. I mean, that's important to me, of course, but who else fucking cares? Nobody. Why should you have to pay for my debt of my decision? Do you care that I got a degree? Do you feel pity for me? I got a house. I got a car. I pay my bills. I pay my student loans. To be honest, I do kind of like the debt forgiveness program that exists right now, where if you pay for 10 years of your student loan consistently, without missing a single payment, and always being on time, they will just erase the rest of it because it's a 30-year loan. I mean, for fuck's sake, you can't claim bankruptcy on it. Obama made sure of that, or was it Clinton? One of the two. It was a Democrat that decided you can't claim student loan forgiveness or student loans on bankruptcy. I'm pretty sure it could have been one of the Bushes. I don't know, because it was recent, and at the time I wasn't paying attention. But the ones that had the most tenure, I'm gonna point the finger at them. Why not? At any rate, that argument makes no goddamn sense to me. You're now saying, ha ha ha, you got a degree from University of Phoenix. Okay. So are you saying you want to pay for my student loans then? Because that's what the proposal is. You paying for my student loans. Do you think that's a good idea? You clearly have a problem with my school. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people from my school that have student loan debt. And a lot of it. Because it's a private college. Private colleges charge more. That's what they do. So you want to pay for that? Is that your argument? Is that what you were saying? You can go right ahead. It's like paying a second mortgage at this point for me. You wanna do that? I'm fine with that. You want to pay those bills? Then shut the fuck up. Seriously, those are my bills. That was my decision. I will own it. I don't need your goddamn help. There are many others that might plea and beg for help. Maybe didn't actually get a job in the field they think they were going to get, or get paid as much as they thought they were going to get. Well, here's the key. And I actually did mentoring on this particular thing for quite a while. Just because you get the piece of paper doesn't actually mean you get the job. There's two things you should do. Internship, if they're available, take it. Doesn't matter if you're getting paid or not. And the second thing is that piece of paper only gets your stupid foot in the door. Okay? It gets your foot in the door. And people value experience. So how are you going to translate the experience you did at school with extracurricular activities that you did and say that you could apply that in the job? Right? There's your one bridge that you need to fail on. And I know I'm running in a little of a tangent, but this piece is important, I think. The second piece is, since that thing gets that piece of paper only gets you your foot in the door, you need to sell yourself. Most people don't think about that. You are now the product. You are the means of the production. You stupid socialists probably don't get this shit. You are the means of production. So you need to sell your skills to somebody that needs them. You just spent 4 years getting those skills. Sell those skills to somebody. Otherwise, you're going to be paying for nothing. I've done the same thing. I had to learn that many years ago. In fact, the thing is I started work before I went to college. And a family before I went to college. So my choices were limited because of my choices early on. This is what is both annoying and distasteful to me. I've been through hell, and these people think that giving free money to 20-year-olds because they made the wrong decision is a good thing. Coddling children is what it is. No. Make them learn accountability and responsibility. It's an important lesson to learn, and it needs to be learned. If they don't learn it then, they won't learn it ever. And then you'll have people like Bernie Sanders running for president, who apparently seems to think that breadlines are a good thing, because that's what he'll be creating. It's great shit. Anyways, tangent over. That is the dumbest argument in the world. I went to University of Phoenix. Yes, I don't give a shit what your opinion is of the school. The question at the end of the day will be, do you want to pay for my bills? Do you want to pay for my student loan? Because that is what the proposal is. Student loan debt forgiveness will mean you will pay for people like me. And I don't want you to. So, I'll see you next time.
No, no, no. Buddha will be angry. He'll send you to hell.